We saw a whole bunch of icebergs on Friday. And I gave my write-up yesterday about what I saw going into Friday and then Friday morning. And it was a very, very heavy book, both from an options perspective and a liquidity perspective. And when you clear out an overnight level very, very early in the day and you continue to wipe it without any kind of bottom wick, that usually signifies a pretty heavy book. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of liquidity at these overarching levels. The overnight high, low, the prior session high, low. When you begin to wipe that very quickly in the session, that says a lot about the order book. Not to mention there was a whole bunch of icebergs on the book there too. And we are live on YouTube. A little bit of red coming off here. 58.98. Nvidia hasn't even started dropping yet. Imagine what happens when Nvidia drops. If it drops. So 58.94. NASDAQ is 531. 534. Top wick on Nvidia. Apple is pretty green. Dropping. 525. Yeah, so I went through the catalyst there throughout the week, and there's really not much here. We have the 20-year bond auction, we have a couple FOMC speeches, but really the only thing that's worth looking at is going to be Nvidia earnings. So that'll be the fun one to watch, and we'll probably be watching that one closely. And it's the last real catalyst until FOMC in December. $525 still engulfing red here. On the order book, we have a little bit of a pressure. Let me come up here and look at the order book. We've got 540 resting errors. We're bouncing back up there. Really, the next big level down with some activity. There's really not much order flow down south at all. So looking at the book here, Dow's getting creamed. RTY is coming on down. We have a small iceberg, 58.93. We're overall just back in the side of the range that we bounced in late on Friday. You know, I was looking for a very heavy session the majority of the day, if not even a bell-to-bell, and we nearly got it. We finally bounced with about an hour, anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour left in the day, and even then it was an incredibly weak bounce on NASDAQ. We were able to recoup about, 60 points of that 500-point sell-off. So it's not often we get that heavy of a session. CL, they are bouncing back green after pinging the bottom of that range. It's actually a triple bounce off of that lower 66 area and launching. So far, not too much movement on the NASDAQ and ES. XLF is diving. We have about 50-50 red-green on both the X sectors and the top 10. Tesla's up 5.8%. Everything else is pretty flat with the exception of Nvidia. A little bit of news has brought them down back under 140. What's up, Fat Kid Skinny? How you doing? Ostreva? I'll take a look. Right, meow. What we got? All right, you should be go. Take a look. What's up, Damien? How you doing, buddy? 530. Nvidia still dropping. Apple, Microsoft dumped and then bottom wicked. We have VIX 1665. I'm really tracking on the 15, starting the day off. I think this is a good way to go. We have a nice little liquidity sweep, like I said, off the overnight high. We didn't quite touch the overnight low. I'm sorry. We got within a couple of points of it. So that would be a great area to reattack if this were to continue. What was the news on Nvidia? They had some overheating issues, but apparently it is known. It was already known. So, this seems like an overreaction from a news perspective. Let's take a look at NVIDIA flow out of the gate. It might be a little bit too early. Usually it doesn't update this quickly. We have very small call buying on NVIDIA. They're leading the pack. Tesla, oddly enough, is call selling. A whole bunch of call selling. Remind you, Wednesday begins the TradingView Black Friday deal. And I will post the link for it when it is active if you're able to get 70% off on the annual TradingView plan. They do it every year. That is when I re-up my TradingView subscription, is this time of year. So I will post the link when it is active, and we can get that deal. Customer rack cabinets, interesting. 522, then 505. That would be a likely area. 505 is going to be the small pivot and then a reattack of the overnight level. But I'm keeping a close eye on NVIDIA. We have pushing and pulling here. We have Microsoft coming up. NVIDIA's coming down. NVIDIA continues to drop, though. How much is that on average? I believe it was like $280, $300, something like that for an entire year of the top tier. I get the top tier of TradingView. Something like that, in that ballpark. It's not much. In fact, last year I completely forgot to do it, and the day after it went back up to like whatever it was, $1,700 or something like that. And I messaged them, hey, I get this every year. Can you cut me a deal? And they let me do it. So they're pretty good people. They make it happen. All right, on the SPX we have very weak call buying. In fact, options chain is quite anemic. We have very light participation on the put or call side for the SPX. What's up, Invest in Muscle? Good morning, good morning. Time to rise and grind, baby. Rise and grind. Thought I was going to be late. There was a drive-by shooting on the way to my kid's school. So I had to go around. Made for a pretty eventful morning. Winter is coming. Minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit in Dead Horse, Alaska. That ain't no good. I am serious. I am serious. I am serious. That's unfortunate. The white not Corona van. Coroner van was out front. It was no good. Shut down the street. In Alaska, yeah. Yeah. Am I in the hood? No, I'm not in the hood. Just, I do have to go through an area like that to get to my kid's school, though. Alaskans are crazy. Yeah, it was a drive-by polar bear attack. All right, bottom wick on NASDAQ from 514 to 547. Taking a look at oil. Oil is freaking launching. 68.57. They're coming to reattack their 68.60 range right here. ES is 5,900. So 58.50 is the main support on SPX. We're 23 points above it. So if we reattack that level, keep an eye on it. We already bounced off of it on Friday. That was the main wall below that. Now that we've reached to the 5,900 area. So I would mark that line, and then of course 5,900 SPX for a wall up above, which is, you know, we're kind of equidistant between both of them at the moment. I would like to remind people that I do not have a crystal ball. I'm able to see the future, and please use risk mitigation strategies and make your own decisions when entering or exiting positions. I'm going to have to start giving disclaimers out every morning from here on out. Do not trust me or anybody else for your financial making decisions. Probably the worst I've ever gotten. It was awful. It was awful. It's quite alarming. It's quite alarming. That it's scary that people trust me that much. I'll be honest with you, to make decisions against their own will. $25.70 to the upside. ES is 5,900. Bottom wick 15-minute bottom wick is nice. We're coming up on the 9:45 candle. 10-minute shake and bake. Overall, we're still inside the range we've been in for 5-6 hours. I'm not supposed to trust some guy on the internet that never met with my entire net worth. Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. What am I supposed to do? Take responsibility for my actions? Of course not. It's 2024. No one takes responsibility for anything. Yeah. 25.55. I'm responsible for being a jabroni. I love it. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? 553. Today is Monday. We do have Vixpiration this week, so keep an eye on the old Vixaroni. I would not be surprised to see them kill the VIX into the Vixpiration. We have Goolsby at 10 o'clock, which is always a fun name to say. 3-month auction, 6-month auction, and that is it. Nothing else at all today. $558. What's up, Ray? What's going on right now? We're just waiting for the first 15 candle print. Haven't taken a trade myself, at least not during the market session. Could we also get a disclaimer for polar bear attacks? I'm on 3,000 away, but you never know. Hey, the odds of getting eaten by a polar bear 3,000 miles away are very low, but never zero. Watch your 6. $25.43, couple of top wicks. Apple. I'm keeping a close eye on Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia. They are now divergent from one another. If we can get them to correlate, we might have some market momentum. In terms of the VPA, 15-minute, we have a red doji with volume. Of course, it's the opening candle. There's always volume. But not really much to say. The buyers are unable to get through the 25.80 that's been there since 02 in the morning. ES is unable to get through the 59.05, which has been there since about 02 in the morning. So, yeah. When you see this, you know it's me. Might have not have strength to push up today. Maybe not. Especially with Nvidia kind of hanging a noose around people's neck here, holding people down. Very curious about Nvidia earnings. Very curious. It'll be fun to watch because that is the last major catalyst until the FOMC in 3 weeks. And then, of course, next week, which we have a shortened holiday week, which I do think the market will be sideways at worst and green at best into the shortened holiday week next week, especially post-NVIDIA. This little red news drop on NVIDIA reeks of a liquidity grab going into the event. This is not a big deal for NVIDIA. There's no reason why this should be a 3% drop newsworthy event. So I do anticipate this could be a liquidity grab opportunity to get back under 140, which has been the main pivot on NVIDIA, in order to recapture 150, 154 post, before, at or after earnings report. So far, pretty boring open. Kind of back and forth, nothing to really get me going here. Liking that TLT bounce on daily. Matt, do you have any additional questions? I know you said you had some questions about the VPA setup on Friday. After you read the write-up, if you have any additional questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to walk through some stuff. Especially if we have a slower day, I'd be happy to kind of review Friday's action and thought processes. It's not very often I tell y'all to not buy the dip or forget about buying the dip, and Friday was one of those sessions. Do I do much RTY? I don't do much RTY. I've tapped in, I've messed with it a little bit here and there, but it's not something I really get into simply because I'm so, most of my analysis is so heavily based on ES and NASDAQ that I don't really go too straight far out from that. The great thing about it, and kind of, we have our own little RTY expert who's not currently here, but he'll be back. That he's the reason why he likes to trade RTY because it's not affected by the big manipulation of the mega caps. So, McCampbell soup, there you go. But in terms of VPA, it works the same as everything else. I'm good to go. Wasn't blaming. No, no, 100%, Matt. I didn't think you were blaming me for anything. I was trying to see someone had seen something that could have challenged my bias. No, for sure, for sure. What do we got? What do we got? A little bit of red rolling out. If we can give out 525, then we might be able to test out low of the day here, or pre-market lows. Nvidia still dropping. Let's go take a look at flows again. Hero flow right now is put buying, call selling on the SPX. In terms of Nvidia, let me get you something. Nvidia is pretty strong call buying. Pretty strong call buying. Interesting. Leading the pack on call buying according to the flow. But they are still trickling downward. Maybe opportunity to buy some calls on Nvidia. Nasdaq still falling 525. 521 is going to be the official pivot from 930. And then after that is going to be the overnight low, 43. Here it goes. Apple and Microsoft are still heading higher. Nvidia is still trickling lower. 58.94. They've got 20,400 liquidity on Bookmap, and that's really the only big level on the book here. So still filling lower red candles, and we just filled the 945 candle. I bought the dip against your advice. Yeah, I'll go sit in the corner. Oh my gosh. 517 here, clearing out the lows. ES doing their shenanigans here too from 58.90. Couple of icebergs filling on ES. Some pretty decent put buying here on the SPX and call selling of 594. What's up, John? Good morning. Nice math. Well done, buddy. Nvidia's still coming off even with the flow showing calls. Yeah. Here, I'll show you what I'm looking at here. Make sure so I'm not crazy. There we go. It's not like 100 million or anything. It's only 14, but it's there. So that's all I'm seeing. Still feeling lower. They're putting on 2407. 407 on NASDAQ would give us that would give us right on top of yesterday's lows. All this liquidity, which makes sense. 407, 400 would be right on top of Friday's lows. I'm either going to get a large play or tell y'all happy hunting. I've got the girls while my wife is in town. Nice math. It's pretty slow, sliding lower, little by little. Looking like it wants that 480. You see that politician shoot that dude in the butt when they're on a hunting trip or something like that? It's crazy. That's why you got to control your muzzle, man. Muzzle control. Palantir taking the water slide. Didn't their CEO post something crazy on Twitter a couple of days ago or something? $524. Did I tell you they put me back in command? Did they really? The prior guy wasn't cutting it? I guess congratulations. Is that good or bad? 512 coming down. $506 dropping again. Nvidia is getting smoked still, rolling back over. I'm going to keep a close eye on this flow because this is unique. They are reducing some of that call exposure now, so just be careful there. Tesla strong put flow. We still have put buying call selling on the SPX. My prediction is tight range. I would expect a range-ish type week going into Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday morning, something like late morning, early afternoon on Wednesday. That may change a little bit going to prep for the earnings. But I would say until then, we're going to have a range-ish style of price action. Nvidia just bottom wicked. $512. A couple of bottom wicks on the 15. Still feeling low. 487 is kind of getting a little activity here. Bottom wick off 500. They just transacted some orders. Keeping a close eye here. Things are pretty dang slow. They're just kind of trickling lower into the 500. Just passed my top step combine after trying for a year. Nice, D. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Now the real work begins, though. What works is journaling and doing analytics in my trades and stopping bad habits. Fantastic, D. Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, I can't tell you how many times people have finally passed an account and immediately blown it up. Like day one. Don't do that. So one micro. Stick with one micro and ease into it. Ease into it. You're entering an ocean filled with sharks. Be careful. So congratulations. Stick to it. Try to keep that baby open for 30 days. You'll do great. Love it. A couple of bottom wicks here, very weak. Come on, man. Make something happen. Make something happen. Let's go to the 30-minute and 60-minute. 60-minute, we have a bottom wick, then a top wick. 120-minute, we have a big doge. 4-hour, we have a golfing red. Oh, man, where are my POCs at? I don't need that. All right, give me my POC. There we go. POC shift on NASDAQ is 488. After that, it's a large shift down into the upper 300s on NASDAQ. This does appear it wants to give out and go lower. $13729 and 137 NASDAQ or Nvidia is testing a triple bounce on overnight low right here. We have call buying or call selling, put buying on the SPX. I'm going to keep a close eye on this Nvidia flow. It's still hanging on to calls. It's not much. There's only about 8 or 9 million. There's not much, but it's still there. TLT is put flow. Yields are up. Green again, 4.3%. What's DXY doing? DXY is at the highest price it's been in since October of 2023. Went up to 107. Crazy stuff, man. 15. DXY is the dollar index. Managed to close out my Palantir position from the premium farm. Made some good money on it because my call went in the money last Friday, so I managed to get out. Nice. Nice Bagurki. 511. Still red. Between 505 and 500 are where the big orders are on NASDAQ. That's where the DOM's shifting at in terms of order flow. Oil rejected their prior pivot at 68.55 and their trend line, if you're following. But, yeah. What we got? 510 here. QQQ waterfall? I don't know. I mean, everything's holding on. Even Nvidia's not taking out their overnight low. Microsoft is up, Apple's up. Google, Meta, they were all up, although they're top wicking now. And Meta came back off. Tesla was up about 8% or so. Now they're down 6.4 or up 6.4. But yeah. Fidelity doesn't show NASDAQ? Really? Stupid deer about to war declare. So it appears it wants to make a move down to overnight low. We still don't have a lot of strength. We don't have any high volume bottom wicking. I haven't entered a position myself. This is a little slower than I care to trade, but I'm going to get something going here. A couple of bottom wicks. Uh-oh. They broke that tree off with that rub. They've done it to a couple of my trees. Don't trade futures yet. Nice. 15-minute bottom wick, NASDAQ. Nvidia as well. Coming into the top of the hour. Algo shift, the 10 o'clock algo shift here. Can we get something going? 812 mil of puts, 200 mil of calls on the SPX. We have Nvidia still holding calls. MSTR is calls as well. TLT and Tesla are puts. Gold is rocketing back up 2,600. Coming into resistance. Clearing that upper range. Microsoft and Apple are barely moving. Tesla finally put on a bounce off of the overnight low with calls. Need some icebergs. Got a couple of small buy sides, but not many big ones. I had to cut up hog panels and put them under my fruit trees. Yeah. Yeah. I put down a whole bunch of pine trees and fruit trees, and they got to my fruit trees. Scraped all the bark right off. Didn't break them off, but they scraped all the bark off. Oh, man. Put them in the freezer. Oh, yeah. $16.36 VIX. Well, this is a pretty boring open. Back to the range, baby. Back to the range. Tempted to take some NVIDIA swing calls. Yeah, no. Tell me about it. Going into the liquidity into the event. $5,900. There's a nice green up to 50.60 into resistance. $59.01. We've got NASDAQ coming up through 560. NVIDIA's finally bouncing, so there you go. Calls were right. Buying calls, selling puts at the moment, switching back and forth. There's not a lot of activity, so it's easy to shift that stuff on a dime in terms of the 0DTE hero. $565. Well, 140 is the line in the sand for me going into the earnings. That's the point at which they're going to hold that and then make a big move. On NVIDIA. $562. Still going through 570. Nice little green move up. Basing. If they clear out the 588 resistance, it's going to be off to the races into the 650. Pretty strong call buying coming in. They're pounding the 0DT calls right now. There we go. Now we're blasting. Now you're blasting. Took along from 511. Nice. Still going 5904. NASDAQ is coming up 582. Right into the prior pivots. Strong green. They're piling into calls right now. Calls are launching. They just put on almost $1 billion in calls in about 5 minutes. Just launching. There we go. 585. There goes the NVIDIA calls too. Prior pivot bottom wick 590. Put on your trailing stops, baby. Crap ton of calls. And VIX just dumped 16. Remember, VIXpiration. They're going to do some VIXpiration shenanigans, kill the VIX over. A tailwind on the market once it begins. It's common for them to do that stuff. Common. Can you show your position tab live? What do you mean? Like show my positions on the internet? No, it's not happening. 580. But I will talk about my positions. 541, 578. Nice. Apple 22727. I would prefer your social security number and mother's maiden name. Nice. If you've already exhausted your opinion on this topic, feel free to describe. But after reading more about the inverted yield, which uninverted September does appear because you realize recession. Honestly, Matt, I don't know. I don't know. For a long time, the inversion was a huge point of contention, and then it remained inverted for so long, for the longest time in history, that kind of people wrote it off, and now we're back to inverted. So I don't really know. Right now, it's beyond my scope. It is, in my opinion, at the moment, it's more of a distraction until it actually happens. I think something will come of all of this. The market kind of has to do something eventually with all of this nonsense we've been facing. I just don't know when it's going to come. So I'm just going to play it as it is and go from there. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I don't, I've read stuff about it now since 2021. It remained inverted for so long, it briefly uninverted, reinverted. So I don't know. I do think we'll face some sort of ramification from it. I just don't know. I've been starting to use opening ranges lately in the 5-minute, and I'm astonished at how well they work. The only thing I don't understand, why do they work? Well, the opening range, there's always going to be some sort of opening range on time frames: 5-minute, 15, 30-minute, 45-minute, etc. Because all the algorithms work on time frames. The algorithms work from two different parameters, either by a target price or a time frame. And you can identify those if you watch a particular time frame. In when the next cycle begins, there's immediate shift in price action, and that's not a coincidence. So if you can pick out a range and identify it clearly, the 5-minute will work, the high, low, the 15-minute, the 30-minute, etc. That's usually in a momentum-driven markets, which is definitive of the opening range, 30 minutes. $580, still going. Noob question: those 0DT are Nasdaq calls. What's the symbol? I don't trade I don't trade NDX, which is your Nasdaq options would be on the NDX. I don't trade NDX options. I have before, but I just don't do it. So I trade Nasdaq futures, I trade ES futures, and I trade SPX options. Bottom wick back up, staying inside the range so far. New high right there. Bottom wicket. Trying to clear out 588. $580. VIX rolling off again under 16. Yeah, the symbol is /NQ. November, Quebec. Daily, monthly gold man on regular account. I will not trade for the rest of the month. Beautiful. Almost done with prop. I don't know you're doing a prop. Nice, Damien. I'm taking a lot of risk when it's not my own money. Yeah, so that's a common theme with props. I would encourage you to treat the prop firm as if it's your own money, your hard-earned money. Otherwise, you're just gonna eventually blow it up. You'll just piss money away. I had to learn it too. Account is up 5% in realized profits this month. Looking back for 5 months. Nice. 5% is extraordinary. Well done. Well done. Nvidia's running back over. $580. Nvidia's a little bit, NASDAQ is a little bit red. Nvidia's got a little red. Okay, down here to 565, but nice and green. Look at that. Once we take out this area, we're going to gun for about 645. Now they're going for 600. Nvidia is blasting. NASDAQ is about to take out and go. If they can get through it. $592. There comes the buy volume. $594, $595. Can they get through it is the question. Another top wick, but they're going to hold it. Nvidia is rocketing. Here comes all the calls on Nvidia. Just sneaked above that 5 o'clock high. They have all that liquidity at 600. It's going. 590. Sitting right here. CVD is hanging out just fine. Nothing else is moving. But, yeah. I'm hanging out till Friday. I have a busy schedule for work. Hope you have a great week. You as well, Matt. I'll keep you informed. Let me know if you have any questions about anything. Good stuff today. Appreciate all the interaction and questions. 585. Unable to get through that overnight level just yet. But, yeah, 580. Let's see. Apple starting to top wick ever so slightly. Microsoft unable to make a move. Six heading back higher. So a little bit of a 20-point top wick, and they're immediately buying back up because Nvidia is freaking launching, and of course Nvidia is the market. So as long as Nvidia is doing what they're doing, we should be able to attack 600. We just got to get through that slow, choppy back and forth. They might sweep it a little bit, top wick and bottom wick, that type of thing, but they're doing it. 592 coming back up. They're going to blast us back to 141, probably. 593, they're about to take out the high and refill that top wick. 596, here it goes to 600. There he goes. Booyah. 100-point move on NASDAQ. 100-point move on NASDAQ. After the dud of FOMC we just had, there hadn't been any real volume to have much confidence in. Yeah, we had a little volume last week, but we haven't had any extraordinary big moves or volatility. Yeah. FOMC was obviously quite a dud. Yeah. 602. Now we're blasting. Took out the prior pivots, and we are launching. 100-point move on NASDAQ and no signs. NVIDIA is rocketing, and of course, NVIDIA is the market. 606 should have no problem coming up to 647 now. Right through 600. Beautiful. Beautiful. I should have no problem going right through 600. 647. Please use stops. Don't blame me for longing the top or losing money. You long the bottom. Beautiful. You and me both. And just set your trailing stops. Six, 1, 3. You got to let it blame, dude. My DMs were blowing up on Friday, so I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I don't even respond to them anymore. Like, I don't have time for all that crap. Don't even have time for all that crap. Did I alert my entry? No, and I'm probably not going to anymore because I'm just sick of the DMs. I'm sick of people not taking responsibility for their actions. So, I'm over it. Are they all members here? Yeah, they are. I'm not a play calling server. You know, I'll say it again. I'm just, and yeah, just people don't listen. After the debt of FOMC we had just had, there's no real volume to have much confidence in. Yep. 616 once we take out the prior high, and now we're going up to 650. Major call buying, 1.5 billion on calls. Billion. Absolutely roasting the calls. NVIDIA rocketed, and we saw all that call buying coming in for NVIDIA, which bounced it, and off we go. And off we go. Rocket ships. Absolute rocket ships. NVIDIA's tapping 140. $609, rejecting there. Yeah, unfortunately, doing this here and putting yourself in a position where you're exposed to a lot of different people, that it's scary that some people are allowed to put the money in the stock market. Like the general public and the investing community are freaking insane. Like, I don't understand it. I do not understand it. I feel sorry for the wives and husbands of some of these people. All right. So we do have a little bit of a trend line right here, 600, 610. The overall pivot is going to be the overnight high right here at 656. Right here. First serious question. I feel stupid missing the XLV short. That would have been some brainer easily. Let me take a look. XLV got dumped on Friday and the day before that. And they've been on a steady downtrend now since September, which I've missed myself. I rarely look at XLV anymore. I looked at it a lot in the coronavirus days. Yeah, but they got dumped off a trend line, off resistance, off 150, and yeah, 137.95 is probably the next target. 1.6 billion. I'll just know you can only help a few, the ones willing to learn. Go to any links. Yeah. Lots of people want the work, but not the work grind accountability. 100%. If dumb people can put money in the market, how would anyone ever make money? That's true. That's true. Another green candle here, 620. Looks like a reattack of 620. Apple's flying. Nvidia, of course, is flying. They're still kind of defending 140, which is the main level. I said that this morning. Nvidia is the main level of 140. That's the line in the sand. That if we recoup, most likely it'll be green, green, green. But there we go. Bottom wick. So there are two types of people that join the server. People who come here to try to copy trades and over leverage, can't take the drawdowns, blow their account, and come at you. Yep. People who come in here to learn and should learn a lot and actually improve. Definitely. Definitely 100%. And I love the second half. Survival of the fittest. 100% is survival of the fittest. Trading is survival of the fittest. Definitely. I'm hitting the lockout button on my props. Done. And I'm flat there. I do have my IBKR open for the first time in I don't even know how long, because I am going to start building positions for short premium for the ongoing future. Never overledged. Took a while. Definitely, Hammy. My message gets across to one person, it helps them. I know I did something good. Yeah, and you know, I talk about the bad DMs, but for every bad DM, I get amazing DMs, which is fantastic. You know, people that have changed their lives, people who have finally been able to pull money out of their accounts, and that kind of stuff. And then, of course, as prop firms came along the past couple of years, people are able to pull out obscene amounts of money from prop firms that they never otherwise would be able to. I wonder if NASDAQ went to 650 soon. Let's go take a look. 650. Right now, we've got a little bit of a trend we're dealing with. We have a support resistance flip. 6.5 would be the overnight level, which would be a likely target given this coming out. Right here. Not a lot of sell pressure, and I wouldn't necessarily look to short this right out of the gate here after this morning's weakness, because it had the morning weakness liquidity. They bounced it. We saw a crap ton of calls come in both for Nvidia and the market, the general SPX market, and now we're bounced back up into overnight levels. So I would either do one of two things: go ahead and shut it down for the day, or do not short unless it's obvious they're going to recoup all of this back down. But right now, I would probably look for 650 more than anything else. And it was at 620. There we go. Blasteroni and cheese right there. 621. ES is 5906. And people can't handle responsibility, let them wash out. Oh, yeah, that's the. It's unfortunately made me a little bit cold because I was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Compassionate with people who did all that kind of stuff to begin with, especially when they gave me the sob story about they're trying to support their family. But I'm like, dude, you're the one that shorted the bottom. You're the one that longed the top. You know, I didn't tell you to do that. So it's hard to have compassion for a lot of stuff. It's hard. You know, I come from a background both professionally and personally where like a Jocko style mindset, like take responsibility for your actions and you'll become better for it. I find myself blaming my stuff for things that even if it is somebody else's fault, I find myself blaming myself. That's just who I am. So I don't mesh with people like that very well. All right, liquidity 630605. And you'll see, this is kind of what I'm looking at, that if we recoup this area, most likely we're going to be getting to overnight highs. There we go. There's a green. Oh, back down. There we go. Bottom wick back over it. And we'll go to 650. Don't one tick me? Yeah, there we go. So no shorting until at least overnight highs. No shorting until at least overnight highs. In my opinion, unless something changes drastically between now and then. When I wanted to get into trading, I picked the second job working overnight at a meat shipping warehouse. They can grow up. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Six, 3, 1. Big green. How to join the Discord channel? I'm paid $25. Shoot me a DM, FJ, in the Discord, and I'll get you set up. There we go, 640, still going. 6.4. Now they're putting on liquidity here. See the liquidity shifting upward? The CVD spiking hard, liquidity shifting into 650 right there. So that's going to be our first target. NVIDIA is coming up the high of the day. All positive flows. Call buying, positive order flow, very aggressive upward movement. This is not a time to short. This is only time to long for now. At least until overnight highs. At least. Nice and strong. 1.8 billion in calls being purchased and continuing to climb. NVIDIA is still climbing there too. So there you go. There's your Tesla. There's your NVIDIA. There's your SPX. By the way, Tesla is now putting on massive amount of calls too. Guy I used to work with now trades in NASDAQ for 300 to 500 a day while he and his girlfriend do high-end housework and pet setting as they travel through Europe. There you go. That's the way to do it. The second that, in fact, I read a tweet yesterday. I forget who it was. The guy said, I wish people would actually trade day-to-day things instead of swinging for the fences every day and watch what happens with their success. Like your success would skyrocket if you would just look at this from a yearly grind day to day and accumulate very small profits day to day. You do fantastic. Most people would fix all their problems trading if that's the approach you took instead of trying to swing for the fences every day. So yeah, 650 coming up overnight highs. If we take out 6.5, we'll go to 6.8. Big change for me. That's right. All right, here we go. 650 coming up on 657, completely huge engulfing into 65566. Nice math. Well done, buddy. Kick butt, buddy. Kick butt. New overnight high. Absolutely blasting. Just rocket ships, baby. Rocket ships. Almost 200-point move on NASDAQ and going. 665 and going. Here comes 68. Wow. 2.2 billion in calls. Extraordinary. Wow. 667. Absolutely huge engulfing green candle. Thoughts on the volume? Completely taken over by buyer's volume. We haven't had a volume spike since the initial candle, the opening candle, but it's been completely controlled by the buyers since. And the 0 DTE flow is incredibly strong right now. As strong as the puts were on Friday, it's the same strength today except for calls. Just incredibly strong calls. And we saw that pile in on that first green candle at 10 o'clock. Just an absolute launch pad. Still going, too. Absolutely insane. Next liquidity shift is going to be 691. Right here. Massive engulfing greens. If NVIDIA can close this candle, this is 140. NVIDIA is toying with 1.4 and launch up with Apple and with Microsoft because NVIDIA hasn't really even launched yet. All they did was recover. If NVIDIA can launch above 140, we're going to have a pretty strong uptrend day today. Still going. No shorting. No shorting. There's way too much strong flow right now. Do not short. I swear to the flying spaghetti monster I'll ban you if I get a DM. I blew up my account shorting. Five, 6, 7, 5, 6, 9 up to 700. Liquidity shift upwards. Six, 7, 6. Well done. Well done. Do I use a final target or just ride the stops? I personally, 9.9 times out of 10, I do not use a profit target. I'll use trailing stops. And that usually treats me pretty well. Flying spaghetti monster. That was a big thing in the early 2000s. There it goes, 6.8. Coming up into 6.90. Straight engulfing. Call buying is incredibly strong. Incredibly strong. Still going. We got 6, 7, 8. We got 1.4. Can NVIDIA hold 1.4? Apple just freaking launched. Six, 8. NVIDIA's trying to hold 1.4. Watch it. Watch the CVD too. CVD is neutral. It's hanging on just nicely. It's still spiking. We don't have any sellers aggregate hitting just yet. 682. We have 2.7 bill calls. Still going green here. No top wick whatsoever. Just yet. 686 going to 69. This is now an official squeeze. We're up almost 200 points. And it's still going. No shorting. No shorting. Still going. Six, 9. $200%. Nice, Deshaun. Well done, buddy. Appreciate it. Hit profit take on ES. Sweet baby Jesus. 6 pound, 8 ounce, baby Jesus. Love it. 700 is the main liquid on NASDAQ. Man, even I got out too early for this. Jeez. Launchpad. Shake and bake, baby. Shake and bake. Can't hold anything. No bottom wicks. I'm sorry, no top wicks at all. Liquidity at 6.9 and then 700. Strong, strong, strong flow. 2.8 billion, almost 3 billion in calls. Nvidia has reduced all their calls. I'll say that. So they were strong call buying. They reduced that back down into puts. Another bottom wick on NASDAQ to head higher. No shorting whatsoever. No shorting. 700 coming up next. I was moving up my take profit and tagged me out. Yeah. $693. Man, what a freaking move. Almost 200 points on NASDAQ. VIX down at 1565. They're rolling the VIX. They're killing the VIX for VIXpiration. That big juiced VIX move on Friday allows them to farm that premium, baby. And they juice the VIX all the way back over on the VIX. And now we can take advantage. I put a long on and walked out of the office, keeping me from closing early. Nice, McGurky. Sometimes that's the best way to do it. In fact, a lot of times that's the best way to do it. There's a quote from a trader that I think should help peeps. Never short a lifting order, lifting consistently. Never buy an offer consistently moving lower. I love it. It's that simple. Seeing a bit of hope. I lost all but 50 and this gave me a 100%er. Nice, J-Los. Fantastic. Just roll your stops up. Protect your positions. We're coming into 700. So just be careful. I'm not even saying shorting here. I'm just saying protect your freaking profits. After a 200-point move, I want you to ask yourself the question, what else do you want? What else do you want? $685 down to $680. It'll give me the courage and wisdom to be able to let my runners win. Nice. Beautiful, Mojo. Just made an all-time high daily win percentage. Amazing. I love it, Mojo. I love to hear it, buddy. Makes my day here in positive news. I'm a positive guy. I'm a positive guy. A little bit of red. Small, small, small red. But unable to hold still. The world, what's up, Kennedy? Moss, always be closing. Fantastic GIF. Love it. Love it. Put that coffee down. Coffee is for winners. I love it, Sean. I love it. Ooh, I just got a letter. I just got a text message from our kids' school. Full transparency for parents. This morning, about an hour before we opened our doors, there was a drive-by shooting occurred on the road. Under the supervision of the police officers and the supervisors, we are not on alert status. Nor are we in a lockdown. The situation is being handled by city police, and we will keep on guard. Fantastic. always keep an eye on the truck. 100%. Was able to recover a big loss with that move up. Nice, Keeney. Well job, buddy. Well done. VIX is 1572. Isn't it too cold for crime in Alaska? Not with the polar bears, man. Not with the polar bears. Top week on NVIDIA. They did, like I said, they dumped the calls on NVIDIA. The hero indicator rolled over from on SPX from 3 billion to 2.4, so a little bit of profit taking there, but I still wouldn't recommend shorting yet. I still wouldn't recommend shorting. I would simply just trim up profits for the calls for the long side. Not to mention, I don't like to look for a short immediately after a big run like that, because usually you have to wait a long time for the momentum to kind of fizzle out. For me, it's all about either buying the dips or just simply managing long positions. Remember the order book. The order book is a freight train. When the order book does what it just did, 200 points, you can't expect it to just ping and to sell back off. Sometimes it happens that way, but most of the time when you get a run like that, it's not something you want to be looking for shorts. You simply just want to look for better entries to long or trim up your current long positions. Because it takes a while for that freight train to slow down. Even if it does reject and sell back off, it takes a couple of 15, 20, 45 minutes for that order book to absorb, reject supply, and then sell back off. So I'd rather be late to a reversal than early to a trend. Tommy gun toting polar bears. I'll give you to the count of 10 to get your old keister off my property till I pump your butt full of lead. 700 coming up. 100% with the market we can hope for. Done for the day. Nice side gig. Love it, buddy. Love it. 700 is main liquid. Taking a look at the S&P. S&P gave us some signals. They had some icebergs there, buy side. Now, they weren't very big. That's why I didn't really pay attention to these. But they were there. A couple of buy-side ice down here in the 58.90 realm. As they were, the 58.90s were the protector of the realm this morning. Yes, Your Grace. The car brand you would drive based on your AR-15. Let's see. I don't have any of those brands, but I drive a Tundra. My AR, I bet you my AR is more expensive than any one of those except for maybe the Daniel Defense, the DDM4. But I love it. How many firearms do I have? All right, Fed. Nice try, Fed. I have a lot of firearms. Firearms is one of my hobbies. I have many, many firearms. More than I can count. Top like 678. I joined. What do we get in the $25 membership? $25 membership, you get reviews, you get commentary, you get alerts and signals whenever I do post them. And the Tuesday, Thursday streams that are not open to the public. You get some positioning that we're going to be doing here for short options. And yeah, there you go. And you get the gabagoo. Let's see, 680. I'm not a big gun guy and admittedly don't know a ton about specific ones. What makes an AR so special? It's very effective. 223 round or 5.56, depending on which way you want to look at it. But a 223 round is fantastic. I mean, 550 yard max effective range, which is awesome for that style of round. You could suppress it. You don't have to suppress it. You could shoot 30 rounds in a magazine. It's very easy and effective. Even the most basic individual can learn how to operate an AR and use it very effectively. It's just a fantastic, reliable weapon. It's not to mention it's modular, complete. Like you could customize it in any way you want. Different colors, different tools, different mounts. Completely customizable. You can make it short. You can make it long. That's what she said. You can make it for optics. You can make it open sights. Anything. It's fantastic. 59.22. What would you recommend for a position swing overnight? I find fine with a 4,500 drawdown. I would work 1 to 2 minis. Given enough space to breathe, I recommend. I personally do not swing minis unless I plan on holding for multiple weeks. So I will swing minis on my IBKR when I want to put on a position directionally for a couple of weeks, because that's a fantastic way to swing positions with the futures. With props, I do not swing minis because of the rules. I'll swing anywhere between 3 to 5 micros, which I do consistently. You're very welcome, Twizzy. I appreciate the question. I need to create a firearm Discord. I'd love that. You're welcome, FJ. Thanks, Reaper Face. You're welcome, 219er. You're welcome. 59.22 liquid, no icebergs. We have liquidity still up to 20,700. Still no shorting. I do not recommend shorting. There's no VPA signals for a short yet. VIX still rolling off 1558. You have to remember VIXpiration. They're farming VIX right now. It's very difficult to short the market when VIX is straight up. Careful in the Firearm Discord. People say it's your fault they shot. I love it. I love it. NVIDIA is 139. I'm telling you, 140 is the line in the sand. That's what it's still proving accurate right now. 140 on NVIDIA is the line in the sand. In order to go higher, we have to be able to close 140, absorb, and move up. Or we're just going to face rejection. We still have 3 billion in calls right now. 3 billion with a B, and increasing. The problem with shorting this area right here is that if it does close, we're going up at least another 30 points on NASDAQ. And there's no VPA signals to short this. It looks like a bull flag, in fact. Anyone here have a Palmetto AR? I think, doesn't Vampire have a Palmetto AR? Or Juicebox? One of those two's got it. Looking to build my first. I don't want to spend a whole bunch. Here's my thing with ARs, man. ARs have been around so long that even the worst of AR still can put together a decent AR for someone who just needs an AR. I highly recommend it. DPMS, Palmetto, just build you a nice little clean AR for under $1,000. You don't need a $4,000 AR. $683. I built a Radical Firearms brand 76239 AR about 36 years ago. It's only $400. Does great. Absolutely. 685. Closed out a tiny short vol call spread with that run up. This which volatility has a better liquidity. Yeah. Anytime you deal with stuff like that, you're definitely going to have lower liquidity versus the ETFs. Do I ever shoot steel rounds? No. I subscribe to a spot gamma. Where are in Hero you seeing the total put call vol? If you go into the Hero indicator, select SPX, and then select the 0DTE little rocker bar thingy, it'll go ahead and show you the 0DTE flow for SPX. Looks like we're about to break out 700 and attack, or 680 and attack that 700 realm. The only thing I had to do is put an enhanced firing pin. It's just a smidge longer because the firing pin that came with it had a hard time punching the primers. That is, I read an article about Palmetto's firearms, especially like their Glock reproduction, and they said the only thing you really have to do is replace the firing pins on them. And once you do that, it kind of matches the same cost as Glocks anyway. But they're solid firearms. You just gotta trim up a couple of things if you want to use them a lot. 2,700 NASDAQ climbing. Gonna go for 700. Still don't recommend shorting. Play to 700. Oh man, you have two. Nice. Aim small, miss small can apply to trading too. Position size compared to the caliber using 100%. Yeah. Well, we've kind of hang out up here at 690 after the big move. Do I start my trailing stops at your price target? I start my trailing stops based on liquidity. So once, let's say I took a long. The market bounces, it clears out the prior resistance of the range. So we start to climb, we attack a range, we attack a resistance and breach through it, even if it's a micro resistance. Once we do that, I'm going to move my trailing stop up. The reason why I do that is because I want to place my stops based on the market naturally protecting my positions through liquidity. So if it's able to breach a prior resistance that's now a support, the market has now built in liquidity between myself, my position, and the market price action. And that allows me to safely move up my trailing stop, knowing that if the market does roll back over, it's still going to base at that level before tripping my stop. Then usually it bounces, heads back higher, and then once it reaches the next liquidity zone, I'll roll it up again. Normally, that's in the ballpark of 20 to 30 points on NASDAQ, sometimes more, sometimes less. But I always try to move it based on the structure of the market. And then, the more profitable I get in the position, the more I lean on trading off of dollar amount. Because once we get to a certain point, like I'm cool with the trade, whatever, I'm ready to get out because I'm either getting ready to leave the desk or I'm just ready to get out of the trade or whatever. And I'll strap up my trailing stop really tight and let it do its thing. But anytime I could build a natural resistance or natural protection into my trade, and usually the strongest trades you take are the ones that the market is naturally protecting your trade. Still hanging out right here. We still have 700. Nvidia's about to break higher. 700 up top. That's too advanced for me now. Just normally just put stops over my targets cleared. That's okay. That just comes down to the support resistance flips. That's what that comes down to. Anytime you see a support resistance flip, there's going to be liquidity driven there. $675. We have a little bit of liquidity at 668, and then of course 700. Nvidia is going higher, attacking 140.3 again. $15.64. Hanging out back and forth. $668. We have a CVD of about 1900 still hanging on here. We have a little bit of short delta coming on. Nvidia's still hanging out at 140. Unable to go anywhere, but yeah. Range bound, baby. Range bound. Iceberg at 59.21. I don't know, what y'all thinking? Back to the chop for now, at least. Back to the chop for now, baby. Now been here for 30 minutes, pin flat after the big move up. Nitrate barrel finish, a little more durable, easier to clean. 1,300 orders on Bookmap here at 15 or 59.18. I'm sure that'll provide some support. We are dead flat at 680, flagging here. And activity has kind of tamped down a little bit. SPX is right under 5,900. That is the main call wall here for today's session. Above that's 5,950, but I don't see 5,950 today. My theory, if NVIDIA finds support at 1.4, Qs will move up in the range. I agree. 140 is the main pivot. And if we do hold that and do support resistance here, I think you're exactly right. $58.96. $683, heading higher. No shorting at all until we have the VPA signals. You remember, the VPA signals for a short could look like a liquidity sweep, which is one final quick thrust higher top wick. So here's my deal. We've been here for 32 minutes since the big move up. If all of a sudden we have this massive green candle that explodes out of the top, do not chase that candle. If you're not in a long, don't wait for a huge 30-point green and then long, because that will reek of a liquidity sweep for a move back down. At least even if it's a temporary move back down, still. So be careful of those liquidity sweeps. That's how they induce you to buying, because you don't want to buy here because you're thinking, if I buy here, it's going to reject. But what they do, they slam it down your throat upside. You start buying, and then they top wick it. You'll see that John Jones fight. Heel to the ribs. It was brutal. Fix is 1553. The Tyson fight was amazing. Yeah, I love John Jones' fight, man. He's great. I've been kicked in the ribs like that since my daughter was like 8 months old and I picked her up. Jones versus Stipe was the MMA version of Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Betting on Jake Paul is the most free money I've ever made. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. Because the training videos I saw of Tyson was not what I saw in the ring. I know Tyson's 58, but come on, man. That's night and day difference. I think we all felt that kick, for sure. Oh, come on. Still in the range. What time is it? 10:05. Man, it's already 10:05? Dang. Time's flying, dude. Is Tyson sick? I don't know. I don't know. Of course, he was eating his glove too. Maybe he was hungry. You know, never seen him eat his glove before. I was having to have a. I was because me and my son watched it, and I was having to talk to him. About Mike Tyson was the beast. He was my favorite fighter, and I had I was hoping I would see some like past glory, so he can like relive the '90s and '80s with me, but no such luck. They're saying on Twitter he was rigged. He was practicing great 2 days before and had no knee brace on. Also, a guy in TikTok showed the contract and showed he knocked his appointment out and not get paid. Huh. I hope that's not right. But who knows what to believe these days, man. Mike in the fight versus training. Yeah, they got bonuses if it went all 8 rounds. Yeah, the females, man, they were awesome. They kicked some butt. They were just beating on each other at that point. Like the last couple of rounds, they weren't even blocking punches. They were just like throwing haymakers and beating on each other. $693, creeping up here, creeping up. Something was up with his knee. Yeah. His opponent got to pick the judges, and the entire contract was not set up for him to win if he wanted to make money. That's not good. Yeah. Good thing we didn't have to pay for it, though. Netflix was, I guess, somewhat free. If you count the frozen stream and grainy as all get out. Yeah. Oh, this is boring all of a sudden. It went from really exciting to really boring. Kind of like the start of the Tyson fight. Just kidding. What you should do is just gather all the Tyson's big fights, stagger them every other week or so, make an event of it. Watch your son. That'd be awesome. That's what I should do, like a '90s mashup. All of Jordan's playoff games. Tiger Woods, Tyson. Absolutely. Just watch them all. '90s was a great time. Nice, Looney, lone Cyclops. Throwing some Bronny James. Oh yeah, Bronny James highlights. Love it. My dad sends me Jordan highlight videos every day. It's fantastic. I haven't watched a single minute of basketball since 1998. That's when basketball died. 2726. Still coming up to the 700. ES Bookmap, high vol above and below. Right now, volume has dropped all the way off on the 15 minute, and we're just kind of fizzling up here. So that's why I'm saying if they are going to drop it, they're gonna do it with a liquidity sweep. They're gonna pop it big green and then top wicket. So right now, I am still biased long until I see that. And we may not see that. I'm just saying, if they do sell it back off, which I don't necessarily think they will, nor do I have any signs of that, that's how they're going to do it, because that's how they have to induce volume. Because right now, volume is void. So the next target here for the S&P is going to be about 59.30. NASDAQ is going to be another... I mean, heck, there's not really anything else for another 100 points higher if we take this area out. So it could be an afternoon run-up. Same junior college with John Jones, and really, that's pretty cool, Michael. I didn't go to school with any professional athletes, but a whole bunch of professional, actually country music singers' kids. It's a bad part about living in Alaska, the whole bunch of country music singers. $6.95. Trickling up to 700. No shorting. No shorting. I'm telling you the exact opposite of what we did on Friday. Keep y'all safe. $700 or $701. $706. $707. Still going. Breakout from the 700 area above 700 to 710. A little bit of, there you go, 703. Beautiful. Beautiful. What do you think of the Lions-Chiefs Super Bowl? I don't really watch football anymore. I'll be honest with you. I can't remember the last time I watched any football, or sports for that matter. I just don't have time. Maybe when my kids are out of high school, I'll be able to get back into sports, but I didn't even get to watch a single pitch of the World Series, and I'm a big baseball fan. Couldn't even watch a single pitch. So I didn't even know the Dodgers won the World Series until I looked it up. Lost connection with Topset, but fortunately my limit sales did the work, like a few milliseconds. Huh. They've been having some issues lately. So look, they rocketed up with what happened. They rocketed up to 710 and they immediately dumped it down to 690. What did I tell y'all? Don't chase the breakout candle. Right there. That's how they have to induce liquidity. This is the sweep. AP has been having some weird issues. Oh yeah. Play March Madness with friends and you'll get back into basketball. Yeah, we should have a March Madness bracket. Top Step's bugging. We are coming up on 10:30 though, and I'm going to call it a day. Pretty fantastic morning. Last about hour of boringness. So we had a great morning. We just now it's meh. So I'm pretty much done with all my electrical work. Now I have to buy the breakers for the breaker box. This is going to be terrible. Stupid things are expensive as crap. Nice little top wick off 710 down to 690. VIX is holding 1555, and I'm pretty much going to be done for the day there. Next target's going to be about 780 if they buy this up. What brand panels are you using? Eaton. I'm going with Eaton. I was going to do that Leviton Smart panel, but that thing was expensive as crap. They were like $100 a breaker just for Wi-Fi. I was like, I don't need Wi-Fi on my breaker. Check out Roblox. I haven't looked at that in a long time. All right, well, there you go. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Slow stuff. I'll do a final wrap up here. We have $3 billion in calls, and they are selling puts left and right, so still no signs of really any rollover other than some profit taking. We have a 5,900 defense on SPX, which is where we thought it would. NVIDIA flow is, let me hit refresh to get that. NVIDIA flow right now is slight call buying. Tesla is leading the pack here. But overall, all we've done is kind of eat up about a little bit more than half of Friday's move down. We have 20,700 on NASDAQ and 5923 and 5,900 on SPX, which is still coming up. 9 of the 10 X's are green. The only one that is red is XLV, and it's barely red. So this is a tough market to short because everything is kind of highlighted green. Tesla is bright green. NVIDIA is looks like they're starting to creep through 140. So I still say do not short unless you see some obvious high volume top wicks, a VPA on the 15-minute. Otherwise, this thing's going to creep on up. I get a new right knee replacement. Well, I hope that works out, Mike Steels. I know that's a tough surgery. So 59.23. There's 2,700. Very welcome. So other than that, let me know if you have any questions. We took the long this morning off of incredible strong call flow. Order book was being lifted severely right off the double bottom at 500. So hope you have a good rest of the day. Let me know if you have any questions. Hit me up. Other than that, I'm out. See you.